Thank you, Himati. Thank you so much. So welcome everyone. A very warm welcome to this session of Tuesday gathering. So let us prepare ourselves for this session by sitting up straight. We can keep our mobiles on mute so that we can be undisturbed during the session. You can place both your feet flat on the floor and feel the connection with beloved Mother Earth. Keep your spine as erect as you can, if possible without support of the back of the chair. Feel the connection with heaven above through the crown of your head. And as you breathe in, feel the energization happening within you. And as you breathe out, feel the relaxation in every part of your body. Take another deep breath in. Visualize this breath going down straight to your Muladhara chakra. And as this breath goes down, it's clearing the negative messages along the pathway. And as you exhale, once again, feel the relaxation. And as we are in this beautiful condition, let us invite the holy beings to be with us this evening, to bless us, to open our hearts further, and to listen and understand what our speaker for this day, beloved Kaumudi, has to share with us. So as I invite the holy beings, you may visualize them in whatever form or name that you resonate with. You can repeat after me in your minds: Dear Divine, dear God, dear the Tao, dear the Source, dear the Creator, dear all my ancestors and descendants, dear all the ascended masters, the Buddhas, the Bodhisattvas, Gurus, Lamas, Kahunas, Shamans, Rishis, Sages, Avataras, all the holy saints, the Hindu saints, the Buddhist saints, the Taoist saints, saints of all cultures, traditions, religions, and belief systems, all of our spiritual fathers and mothers in all layers of heaven and on Mother Earth, dear all the spiritual masters, dear all of our gurus of this lifetime and all lifetimes, dear Heaven, Mother Earth, Mother Nature in all her forms, the sun, the moon, the stars, the planets, the galaxies, the universes, and beyond. We love you all. We honor you all. We respect you all. And we invite each one of you to please come and join us. Join us for this session of Tuesday gathering to share your love, your knowledge, your wisdom with us through Kaumudi and directly too. We look forward to all of your blessings. Join us as we sing the sacred soul song of love, peace, and harmony that was received by our beloved spiritual master, Master Zigangsha. And as we sing, as we chant this beautiful soul song, may there be love in everyone's heart, peace in everyone's mind, and harmony amongst all souls. We are so honored and grateful to sing this song at this time. Let's all sing together. Lula, lula, lee. Lula, lu, la la lee. Lula, lula, lee, lula. Lula, lee, lula. Lula, lee, lula. I love my heart and soul. I love all humanity. Join hearts and souls together. Love, peace, and harmony. Love, peace, and harmony. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And whenever you're ready, you can open your eyes with a smile on your face. And let us be prepared. Let us open our hearts to welcome Kaumudi. Kaumudi Sane, beloved student of Master Shah. I met her first in the year 2016 when she joined the mission to become a Divine Healing Hands healer. And since then till today, I have always been in awe of her commitment, her loyalty. There's so much we have to learn from her and how she came this far. There are many secrets which she is going to share with us today. And I am as eager as each one of you to hear from her. So welcome, Kaumudi. It's a pleasure to have you with us. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Maji. Thank you so much for your humble words. And what more divine grace could be to be introduced. And it's an honor and a blessing to be introduced by your own mentor. I'm so very blessed. Thank you so much. Today, when Gaur sir asked me, when would you like to do a session for us? So he said either the first or the second Tuesday of December. So I just looked up the calendar and I saw 13th December was a Tuesday. And it apparently happens to be my parents' anniversary as well. What more could I have asked for from the divine to express my deepest gratitude to them for all that they have given to me. I cannot thank them enough for all the love, compassion, the support they have bestowed on me each and every day, every moment of my life. And this is the biggest divine grace that I have received. It's been a wonderful journey, and this journey would not have been possible without their love and support. Today, if I'm here, I'm because of them. All the love, the support, every time they offered, the compassion, I will say, the strength that they offered me throughout my journey. I really cannot comprehend it. It's beyond my comprehension. I'm so very grateful for that. So as I grew up with their love and support, at the age of 7 years, that was my first encounter with the divine grace that I could remember and I could understand. I was operated for appendix, which had burst about 12 hours ago. And it was a very crucial operation where the chances of survival were very low. But the divine had a different plan for me. And so here I am. Post that operation, I was put on heavy medication, and the impact of the medication still remains to some extent. But I'm grateful for what happened because it brought in so much of compassion for the pain, for me to understand when I serve people. It is much more easier for me to relate to the pain which they are going through, not only physically, but mentally, emotionally, psychologically. Because when you're physically sick, you're not only sick physically, it is your emotional, it is your mental, psychological, everything is put to task. I recovered from that operation. I was quite much better, but I had a lot of restrictions for about a year or so. And I did have a lot of health issues on and off, but I was able to carry on. As I grew up, maybe at about the age of 12 or 13, I had the first outbreak of the impact of those medications. We had moved into a new place, and I started getting blisters on the palms and the soles of the feet. They were quite painful because they were just not cuts as you would get. My skin would get hardened, and then there would be a crack. Like you would see a dot, something similar to that. And many a times it would bleed, and it was very painful. I had to completely depend for everything on my mother. I could not even eat with a spoon because those cracks were so painful. I could not even hold the spoon, and I could literally feel the texture of the spoon where it is not smooth enough, where I could feel those little pinches on the spoon. So I could not even have food with the spoon. So most of the times my mother had to feed me. But I was grateful to Divine that I found the right doctor at that time. And with his medication, I was healed within a year. Life went on, time passed. I did have on and off, I did have health issues, but I was able to manage with some home remedies, some medications, and so on. During this journey, I was introduced to Swami Chinmayanand's teachings, also to Art of Living. And then maybe I would have been at my second year of my college when I was introduced to Sahaj Yoga, which is led by Sri Mataji Nirmala Devi. That is where my spiritual journey actually started. Because that is when I understood what is spiritual journey. Rather, I started to learn, to understand what is spiritual journey all about. What are the 7 chakras, what is Kundalini, how to do meditation, and many more things. And I was blessed to be in her presence a couple of times, to receive her blessings, to be in her field, which was very purifying. And as I continued my studies, I happened to go to Pune for my further studies. I was putting up in a hostel. I was doing my master's in computer management. And I was happy to introduce Sri Mataji's teachings to some of my friends there, and they also joined me. So weekly we used to go for the satsangs, the prayers, the meditations. And we used to have, I really enjoyed my tenure during my hostel stay. It was a wonderful experience. And I feel everybody should, if possible, get this experience. It is an experience of its own. While I was in my second year of my post-graduation, as we used to leave our slippers outside the mess and go for food, as I came out, my slippers were missing. So I just waited, maybe, by mistake, somebody must have worn my slippers. And as I waited, I found there was no slipper left behind. And I wondered, where did my slippers vanish? but I needed one, so I just purchased a new pair from the local shop. And that caused all the trouble. I had a shoe bite, and then it started aggravating day by day. It would not get healed at all for whatever medicines I would apply, and it would not help. And I also had a relapse of those cuts which I had earlier previously. So every day I would walk through the day with my socks up, because so that I can prevent from any dust or any mud going inside those blisters. And in the night I would come back to my room and I would soak my legs in the hot water, clean them, put some ointment, and then go to bed. But I was again very, very grateful. I had the most wonderful roommates and friends. They helped me in this journey. If I was able to successfully complete my post-graduation, it was also because of their love and support. As we were staying in the hostel, so we had to climb one stairs up for the washrooms, and I had to lift the bucket up or down to get the water. And sometimes it was very painful and it used to bleed as well. So at that time, my roommates would help me get the water, then go back and throw them. So it was a huge, huge blessing for me. All the divine support so that I can complete my post-graduation, so that I don't leave it halfway through. I post-graduated, and the same year, our batch, when we finished our post-graduation, that was the time of recession. There was a lot of recession in the market. And so we didn't have any campus interviews. No companies were ready to recruit freshers. So we didn't have any campus interviews. Many companies had called in for having the campus interviews, but they canceled it at the last moment. So I came back, I completed my post-graduation, and I came back home to Delhi with my parents. The only jobs that were available at that time were the call center jobs. As I was applying for my IT jobs, I was also applying for the call centers, and I happened to get through one of the best call centers at that time for the voice-based process. I joined the company with an intention to not be there permanently, to just be there till my probation period, which was for 6 months. I never thought that this company could give me so much. I learned so much from the company because the kind of training we were given, public speaking, how to speak, and many, many things, how to communicate. But I had night shifts, so I was having a tough time doing it throughout the night. Doing a shift throughout the night was not easy for me because I'm not a night person. I cannot stay awake for late. So every night at 3 a.m., I used to doze off. So luckily we had an option to put our calls on hold, but sometimes it was on the call that I would doze off, and then it used to be really embarrassing. But it was really difficult for me to stay awake the entire night and do justice to the job. So I left about in 5 months' time. But this aggravated my health conditions. I developed acute acidity, which led to many other problems. And of course, as I had developed the skin allergies while I was during my last year of my post-graduation, that also had aggravated. It had almost started spreading all over the body to my neck and many parts of the body. And it was very irritating, very itchy, and very, very uncomfortable. So my mother insisted that I should cure this. So I should first focus on getting better and then carry on with my career opportunities. So we consulted a doctor and he advised me to apply some oil and he had given some medication. As I started applying that oil, it just started aggravating day by day, day by day, day by day. and it would not heal. And when we checked with him, he said, no, that is the process. The body has to detoxify. Oh my God, detoxify in that painful way. It was really, really difficult. I thought maybe there could be a much easier way to detoxify the body. But it was really painful because by then my legs were swollen. I could not walk even within the house. Reaching the washroom was also becoming difficult day by day. And more than that, the physical pain was intense with a lot of oozing, itching, and pain and everything happening. But I was getting demoralized day by day. It had started affecting my spirit of fighting this illness. And there was a point I had just started losing hopes of getting better. And that's when my grandfather recommended us to one of the doctors. She was an Ayurvedic doctor. I was very reluctant to go ahead with the treatment because Ayurvedic, whatever understanding I had, it will always again detox. So I presume that it will aggravate to some extent. And I was not ready to take over that further pain, the irritation and whatnot. But the doctor insisted that she would like to talk to me. Even if she doesn't wish to take the treatment, that is perfectly fine. But I would just like to talk to her. She was an amazing soul. There was some charisma in her voice. As she spoke with me, she gave me the confidence that I will be cured. I will be able to live a better life. And she transformed my thinking, and I was ready to go ahead with the treatment. Of course, my parents were inspiring me all the time, but sometimes it is good to hear from somebody else. So probably that's what worked for me. And then I went for the treatments for about a year. I went through the Panchakarma treatment, for which you require some mental strength also. You have to go through. It is not an easy process to go through. But my doctor, she made it possible. She made everything possible for me. She not only treated me physically, but she also inspired me. She treated me morally, mentally, emotionally, psychologically. Whenever she used to give me the treatments, there were certain massages, certain steam baths that I was given. She would always be talking so positive about life. That life is so beautiful. You know, you can have a beautiful life. The way she used to talk, she used to share. I don't remember any particular share of her, but I just remember that she was always very inspiring. And that also helped me to bring back the spirit, the fighting spirit that yes, I can also be healed. About 1.5 years down the line, I was healed to about 99%. There were certain things, but then there were certain medications that I was supposed to take. And I was back to my normal life. I started working. I worked in Mumbai as a lecturer. Then I joined a company in Delhi. That is where my testing as a software tester, my career started. I got a wonderful opportunity to work with Oracle, with one of the best companies I worked with. And it was an amazing opportunity. I moved to Bangalore for that opportunity. It was all good. For first 1 year, I got an opportunity to go to US for unofficial tours. So I had everything. It was just the wonderful time I had. What more could I have asked for? But then there was some more purification that was still in store. There was again a relapse. And this time I didn't know what went wrong. I was so careful about what footwear I wear, what I eat, everything. But still, I again had a shoe bite. And it all again started all over again. So I decided to quit and go back and to take the treatment from the doctor. But unfortunately, she had transitioned by then. That's when I came to know how much love and support she had for me, unconditional love, unconditional service that she offered, in spite of having all hard times in her life. She was also going through a very rough time in her life. But yet she went out of the way to do everything for me. So I owe deepest gratitude for whatever she has done for me. When I came back, I thought I should find something that will help me to heal permanently. So I came to know about one of my paternal uncle who had received some divine powers, and many patients, many of them had wonderful results. So I started taking his treatment for about a year or so. So I was in Mumbai at that time. I used to go on weekly basis. He's based near Miras in a small village. So I used to go over the weekends for the treatment. And this went on for about a year and a half. And I did get a lot of benefits from his treatment. It really improvised my head to quite an extent. And it also gave me some relief from my skin allergies, but it didn't heal that. About after a year or so, I again started having a relapse, and this time it was all over my body. Everything was oozing on my face, my lips. I could not open my mouth to eat food. And I really didn't know what am I going to do. And at that time, I was also taking some other Ayurvedic, I was consulting some Ayurvedic doctors, and I was taking some medicines. But nothing was really working for me. It was like before every meal, I used to have about 10 to 12 tablets and then have meals. So I was having more of tablets than of eating anything. So in between the tablets, I was having meals, I can say like that. So I said, this has got no end. How much medicines can I eat? And then those medicines had their own, I won't say side effects, but yes, the medicines require, so for detoxification, you're required to have proper diet, and then it used to cause acidity and many other things. But somehow, again, it was divine's grace that my grandfather suggested one of the Vaidya who was based in Dombivli then. He was not a Ved by profession, but he had received a Siddhi. So he had some divine connections. So he was able to give those medications accordingly. So we went to him. I started taking his medication, and his medication did give me a lot of relief. I was able to clear off whatever was there all over my body and everything, but it was not completely healed. After about 7-8 months, I found that his medication seems not to work anymore for me. I didn't see any results, anything curing or any relief happening. So I thought, I don't think so. I discontinued his medicines because they were not giving me any relief in any way. By that time, I had quit my job because it was getting difficult for me day by day to continue with my job. I was working in Mumbai for about 2.5 years with other companies. And every day it was a challenge for me because there used to be a lot of oozing on my feet. So I had to put the ointment, put a layer of cotton, wrap it, wear socks, slip in my feet into the shoes, and then go for work. And then by noon, it used to be all wet because the oozing used to increase because I used to stand, sit. There was no support for the legs. The oozing, the swelling used to increase by evening, and I used to wait for it to be 6 in the evening so that I can go back home and relax. So I had left the job and I really didn't know what to do. I could not find any solution anything that could help me. But there was one realization that came to me at that time. This cannot be healed only with medical science. There has to be something beyond that. But I didn't know what was that. Day by day, my condition was worsening. Morally, I was getting very depressed. I was really going as if I was just sinking day by day. I really didn't know how to get out of it. And then there was one blissful day when I just didn't feel I can continue like this anymore. I decided to depart. And I went to a lake that was close by to my house in Mumbai. I used to go for walks on and off. And as I was walking down towards that lake, there was a jogging track around the lake. There was intense chaos going on in my mind. All sorts of thoughts, I don't even remember now, but there was immense chaos going on in my mind. And the chaos it was around evening time when it is a very busy road. I could not hear the chaos of the traffic, but I could hear the chaos of my mind. It was very, very loud for me. And as I just sat down there on a bench, thinking what to do, how to get out of it, and with this chaos going on and on and on in my mind, there was one point, there was complete silence. And I could just hear Om Namah Shivaya. I could not hear the sounds of the traffic, the honking, the people talking around, the children playing there, the vendors calling out, nothing at all. I could only hear the chant of Om Namah Shivaya. Something just changed for me at that moment. Just across the road, there was Sri Kalavati Devi's ashram, Paramartha Niketan. The chant was going on there. It goes on every evening, but I never heard it that loud as I heard it on that day. I crossed the road and I just went and sat there. And I was just listening to this chant, but I was also listening to the bhajans, the kirtan that was going on in that temple. But I was totally cut off. I was all within myself. And something was just telling me, you will not attempt anything like this hereafter. You will fight till the end, no matter even if you have to live like this throughout your life. I don't know from where that voice was coming, but that was just going on and on. And it was just a chant of Om Namah Shivaya that I could hear. I don't remember how long I was sitting there. But then one sadhak, she just came and she touched me and she said, Tai, we need to close. So can you please come back tomorrow? So I just got up and I went back home. I cried like anything that day. It was not a cry because of the depression, but it was more of the joy that I was feeling inside. I could feel the divine love for the first time. It was very, very heart-touching. I don't know, for hours together, I could not express what I was feeling at that time. But that was a turning point in my life. And then I started doing a lot of chanting, whatever anybody told me, do this, do that. I started believing that it is going to work. Something just made me believe that yes, this will work for me. So I regained my spirit to fight back. If whatever happens, I will fight till the end. And then one of my friends, she told me, why don't you chant Hanuman Chalisa? So I said, yeah, I can do that. And I started doing that. I started chanting Hanuman Chalisa on regular basis. I started feeling so much of love from Hanumanji. There was some deep connection I would feel. I would feel extremely protected each time I chanted Hanuman Chalisa, as though he's just safeguarding me. I always felt his presence very, very much. And then things were improving, though my condition was not improving. But yes, I was gaining that moral strength day by day, though still I had not received anything that can really keep me going, can heal me. So I had somewhere that acceptance was coming. Maybe this is what I have to live with. The cure is not to be found yet. And then we had moved into a different house there. So that time, my father used to do a lot of research because he was really worried and he really wanted me to help me out of this. So he found something called as Spiritual Scientific Research Foundation. So it is known as SSRF. It is a website by Sanatan Dharma, which is led by Dr. Athavale. He's a doctor by profession, but a spiritual master. And as I went through his website, and I would share the link of the website, it is beautiful. The more you read, the more knowledge, the wisdom he shares on his website is immense. Everything was quite new for me. And it is very much more aligned to our Hindu culture for the rituals we do. He has given a lot of understanding why a specific ritual is performed, the scientific reasoning behind that. It was very, very appealing. I remember for 2 or 3 days, I just kept on reading his website. And I realized as I was reading his website, there was some positivity, there was some frequency, the vibrations that was just opening my heart further and further and further. And I read so many testimonials on his website, those who have got healed from similar skin conditions. So I had that hope. Yes, something is there from which I can be healed. So I started doing those practices, the forgiveness practice. They have a different way of doing forgiveness practices. They had weekly satsangs. I started attending those satsangs. And with Divine's grace, all the satsangs were online. So I could do it from home. I didn't have to walk out or go to any place. But still, my condition was not improving to that extent. I had different kind of experiences during that phase of my life. I never knew there was something like a negative entity, a negative energy, but I could feel those energies at those times. But whenever I used to chant Hanuman Chalisa, there was some positivity, there was some shield that was getting created. I could feel that. And I would feel so protected that I started developing that barrier to absorb those negative entities by practicing what the practices that Sanatan Dharma had mentioned. That is when my sister was also with us because she was pregnant, and she was there here with me with my this journey. It was Datta Jayanti, and there was a temple close to our house. My father just walked in just to find if he can find some relief for me in some form. And he met one Guruji there. He said that my father expressed his concern about my health, and he asked him to come to Narsubawadi, where he could give the blessed chandar, which I could consume, and that will help. And the very next day, before we could plan, because I was not in a condition to go, and my sister was there, she was expecting any time. So my mother had to be with us. So even my father could not leave because she could require him anytime. And it just happened the very next day. My nephew was born the very next day. And then my father was able to plan his trip in the next 3-4 days once she was back home. And he went and got the chandan, and I was supposed to take it every day. He asked me to do certain shamayachana, to chant some shamayachana mantras, and that started healing. My nephew has been instrumental in my healing process. He is my healing angel. The day he came home, and as I took him in my arms, the way he smiled at me, he just opened my heart completely. I could feel so much of love from him. And I'm grateful to my sister because she allowed me to spend time with him. I would spend hours and hours together. I would not get sleep. And as we all know, children, they don't sleep. Infants, they take time to adjust to the normal routines. So he would also be awake in the night. So I would be with him during the night. And that really healed me. Within 2.5 months' time, I was in a position where I could walk out, go out and do everything. So he's a huge blessing for me, as well as blessings from Datta Maharaj, from Narsubawadi. I do have a very deep connection. Whenever I go to Sangli or Ningras, that side, I just cannot refrain myself from going to Narsubawadi and taking his blessings. Life continued. I took up a job. I was working in a company. Everything, it was a nice job. We moved to Malad. And then it was time for me to meet Master Shah. But I still had to purify before I meet him. This must have happened about 9 months before I met Master Shah. I happened to my father, and during all this time, my entire family was also going through a lot of purification. It was not only me, they were also going through intense purification in their own ways. My father had been operated for his hernia, so he was resting at home, and I happened to go to the market to fetch some fruits for him. As I was just deciding what fruits I should buy, an elderly person, maybe about 5 feet in height, wearing a white shirt with stripes. I still remember it so very clear. Black trousers. His face was glowing like anything. A very fair gentleman. And he just tapped on my shoulder. And as I looked back, I saw he had a bandage on his throat. So he was not able to speak. So with hand gestures, he said, "Mujhe 10 rupaye ka gende ka phool chahiye." There was a flower vendor sitting next to the fruit vendors. I said, okay. So I asked him, कि इनको आप 10 रुपए का गेंदे का फूल दीजिए. So then he started asking whether he want bel patta, this patta. He said, nothing. I just want the orange gende ka phool. So I gave him and I handed over to him. He put those flowers in his bag. And then I told him, you need to pay him 10 rupees for it. He told me, I don't have. So the flower vendor started looking at me. I said, never mind, I will pay on his behalf. So I just pulled out a 10 rupee note and I handed over to it. And I just turned back to look around for this person, and he was nowhere. I thought he must have gone to the temple. There was a temple, Hanuman temple, just close by. So I thought he must have gone there. So I just rushed back. I don't know, I just wanted to talk to him. So I just rushed back and I just could not trace him. And it was not a busy day at all. It was a very lean day. Hardly any people around. I looked for him all over, but I could not find him anywhere. I went back and I shared this with my parents. So many of them told me that since you are chanting Hanuman Chalisa, it could be Hanumanji who has given darshan. I said, oh, I'm so blessed. But those memories still remain very, very fresh in my mind. And then I was working in the company, and slowly and gradually, another relapse started happening. I started having a lot of oozing on my feet, on my legs, and it was getting difficult day by day for me to sit in the office for the entire day from 9 to 6. So I decided to quit and find a solution for this. In the meantime, my parents were traveling to Delhi, and their co-passenger happened to be a healer's father. And he shared about his daughter being a healer. So they just exchanged numbers. So when they came back from Delhi, I was in a very bad state. And with all the courage, because I may not be ready for any kind of medication, having had such experiences, my mother asked me, would you like to try? This is a healing where you don't have to apply anything, you don't have to take any medication. It is just a remote healing. There's no harm in trying. To her surprise, I immediately and instantly agreed. I connected with her. Her name is Leena. And she offered me blessings. She asked me to do forgiveness practice and some chants. And I was feeling better day by day. Maybe it must have been just 2 or 3 days. At the same time, my sister was also going through a lot of health challenges. And one evening, she just called up and she said, I need to be admitted in the ICU. So she wanted my parents to be with her because my nephew was very small. He was just maybe about 2 years old. So she wanted them to be around so that they can take care of him. Now, my parents were in a dilemma. Even I was not in the right state that they could leave me all by myself. And even she required their support. But I had developed the confidence that these blessings will heal me. So I told my parents, you please go ahead because she requires you at this time. And I have Leena and she will support me. I will be able to manage by myself. So I called her and I shared that my parents have to leave. So she said, never mind, any time of the day, even if it is midnight, if you feel the pain, discomfort, anything, you just give me a call and I'll offer you blessing. She offered me all her unconditional love and support that she could offer me. She really gave me that space to open up, to share whatever I was feeling. She had a listening ear. So I would pour out everything to her and I would feel great about it. So she was a great support for me for those 7 days when my parents were not there. And on the 7th day, when my parents called me that we are planning to come back, as she's back home, she's doing much better. She can take care of my nephew. So then when they said, then they just asked me, we hear some noise, where are you? I said, I've come to the market to buy milk and fruits and vegetables. They were so surprised. Just a week's time and I'm just already out in the market to get something. Even I was surprised. How could this happen? But it was happening for me. I continued with her blessings for some more time. Then she suggested that I should go for some high-level blessings. So I should meet the master teachers and get the blessing, the high-level blessings, so that my healing could accelerate. And then I took an appointment. At that time, we had Master Prince. He was one of the master teachers of Master Shah. I booked an appointment with him. And we were given a slot in the afternoon. And I preferred that slot because I had to travel from Malad to Dadar. And I wanted to come back before the rush hour starts. Because with my condition, if anybody steps on my foot, then I'm gone. It was really painful. So I wanted to avoid the rush hours. And as we were traveling to Dadar, I got a call from his wife, who is also a master teacher. She said, can you delay your appointment by 1 hour? I was in deep pain and I was coming with so much of hope. And I get a call saying that, okay, you come after 1 hour. I said, I'm already on my way. So she said, never mind, you can come here and then, but you'll have to wait for an hour because there's an emergency consultation that has come up and you would have to take that. I was really upset that I'll have to prolong it for another 1 hour. It was not a big time, but then the pain, the agony that I was going through was making things very difficult for me, and my patience level were very, very low. As we got off at Dadar, we were sitting at the station, and I was just telling my parents, I think let's just go back. But something again, you know, the blessings can just come. I don't know what happened. I said, okay, I will just go. But if nothing happens, I'm not going to come back. So they said, okay. So we just walked to the temple. We call the center as the temple. As we entered the reception area, there was a big picture of Master Shah. And we were sitting just right in front of the picture. I was just wondering where I have seen this person. I was just trying to scan through my memory whether I've seen him on the net, if I was surfing something and did I find him, but I would not recollect where I have seen him. I felt a very, very deep connection. I told my parents, I think I've seen him in person. I feel that. And I don't know, but I don't know where. I don't recollect. And then we waited for 1 hour. That 1 hour was very healing for me. Usually if I would be there 1 hour sitting like that, my oozing would be so much that the entire dressing would get wet. So I always used to carry an extra pair of dressing. But it did happen that way. And then I was called in by Master Prince for the consultation. As I entered, the first thing that he asked me, why don't you become a healer? I just smiled at him and I said, first, I would like to heal myself. First, let me feel the relief. I have so much of pain, I cannot think of anybody else except for myself right now. So he said, never mind. Then he offered me certain blessings, certain high-level blessings, and then he gave me a book. And he asked me that this is a book, there was a calligraphy in the book, and he asked me to place that book on my feet. I said, the book on the feet? How can we do that? We never put our feet on the book. He said, don't think it is a book. It is a healing tool. So offer your gratitude, offer your respect, and just put the book on your feet. That is going to heal. I said, okay, if you say so. So I came back and then he was asking me to go for some high-level blessings, which had a higher honor fee. So he said, you can just talk to your father, because my mother had come along with me for the consultation. My father was waiting at the reception. So my father said, honor fee is secondary. If it can help you, just go ahead with that. And I just received the downloads or the transmissions, as we call them. And I went back, I started chanting, doing the practices, and I started healing. That is how my journey with Master Shah started. Master Prince also inspired me, encouraged me to attend the free sessions. There were certain calligraphy meditations that were happening. And I would make it a point to come. Even with all the pain, I would try my level best to be there. I'll share a very beautiful incident that happened. I was totally unaware that there's something as third eye, and anybody could see some third eye images. There's something called as third eye images. I was there for a calligraphy meditation. And as Master Prince unveiled it, he led us through the meditation. I was gone off to sleep. I didn't know what happened for the next 1.5 hours. I just woke up, somebody sharing. I saw so many horses, chariots of horses, so many flowers, so many Buddhas, so many heavenly beings. Oh, I thought, I've missed out the movie. I thought there was some movie that was being shown and everybody has seen it. And I missed out because I slept during the meditation. I was feeling very bad the way they were sharing, and everybody was sharing differently. I said, my God, so many things happened and I am totally unaware of it. So I thought maybe there would be a curtain, a white curtain, where you would have projected this, whatever they are sharing. But later I realized they were all sharing the third eye images. But it could not comprehend to me that somebody could see something like this. Everybody was sharing. And his wife, Master Simran, she just came up to me and she asked me, how was your experience? I said, I don't know, I slept off during the meditation. I don't remember. I said, I don't know what they're sharing because I never saw anything like that. She said, never mind. It is not important for you to see. It is important how you felt. I said, no, I feel very nice. And then she asked me to come for the Miracle Day. It is a one-day program wherein huge blessings are offered. So she said, try to be there. I said, it's a one-day program. I cannot sit through that day. One day is too much for me. I manage these 1 or 2 hours, but one entire day, not possible. But she said, no, you please come because it will benefit you. And any discomfort you have, we will make all the arrangements. We'll put a bed for you. If you wish, you can lie down. Every comfort that you require, we will offer. I said, okay, I will try to come. So I did come for that meditation, and I'm grateful that I came for that meditation. I'm grateful to Master Simran. She inspired me. Every day she would just say, please come. And during that one meditation, it was revealed to me that the person whom I met on that day who had asked for those Gende ka phool, he was none other than Master Shah. And I was so blessed. I could not think that something this can really happen. And thereon, I took it off and I completed my divine healing hands. And I decided that I will serve people. Master Prince called me one day, why haven't you applied for the Soul Teacher program? I said, my God, to Soul Teacher program, I saw that mail coming in. It's about 1.5, 2 years program. I don't think so I'll be able to commit myself. He said, why not? You don't have to think how you're going to pull on for that 1.5 years. You just have to surrender yourself. You have to tell the divine, tell Master Shah that you want to do this program. And he will make the arrangements. And that's what exactly happened. I just went by his words. I enrolled for that program. And I was so blessed to have Master Uma as my mentor. For whatever I'm teaching today, for all the teachings, for all the service that I'm doing, she has been instrumental for that. She really groomed me so very well. As we were going through that program, we used to have weekly sessions, presentations. I have been a very, very shy person. And I always used to get goosebumps, butterflies in my stomach, trembling, or everything. Public speaking was not my cup of tea at all. But Master Uma brought in the best in me. She's a wonderful teacher. She can just bring in the best in that person. And that is what she did for me. I started serving at the temple as I was doing this course. She asked me to come and teach so that I could get an experience. And she would tell me, you can prepare 1, 2, 3, 4 topics, and I will ask you to teach those topics only. So you need not worry. So you're very, very well prepared. I said, okay, fine, that's good. So I would prepare myself for those topics and I would come, deliver the teachings. And then there used to be a break, and then Master Uma would call me and tell me, okay, now you go ahead and teach 7 soul houses. And I used to have butterflies in my stomach. I don't know. I used to goof up with all the wisdom, the teachings of 7 soul law houses. And I really didn't know. She said, you still have 10 minutes. You can just brush up. I said, 10 minutes? Okay. So she used to just push me there and just say, just go ahead and do it. But that helped me. Initially, I used to feel, why Master Uma is doing this to me? How can she do this to me? I have to prepare. If I don't deliver it properly, if I don't do justice, it's not right. And all those thoughts would always bother me. But she always was there as a support. She would say, anytime you feel you don't recollect or you're not able to, you can just ask me and I will be there for you to support. But before I could ask for any help, she would just know that, okay, it's time for her to come in so that everybody gets to feel that I know everything. So that is how she really trained me for 1.5 years of my soul teacher journey. And I learned so much from her, how compassionately you should teach, all of Master Shah's teachings, how you can follow, what all you can do, what kind of meditations, how you should do the meditation, how you should, know who your audience is and where you should pause, where you should be aware, how you should go into the condition. Every small tips that she could offer, she offered. I completed my miracle teacher, then I wanted to go ahead for the Guan Yin Lineage. We have a master teacher, his name is Master Raksha. He chants Guan Yin mantra beautifully. I had heard him back when I was in Delhi, when my parents, my nephew, my sister did their divine healing hands. And I'd just fallen in love with that chant. The way he chanted was so beautiful. And I just knew that I want to learn this mantra. I'll share one incident when my parents received this divine healing hands. That time, Master Shah was offering also for children. Now it is only for 18 years and above. So I decided that I will take this transmission even for my nephew. And that was very purifying, not only for me, for my parents, for my sister, for everyone. It was not easy. There was a lot of resistance because the light had to come. And so the purification had to be intense. But I was very firm from inside that yes, we will do this course. So everybody had all those thoughts, how we are going to sit through the entire day. And Kavish, my nephew, who was just about 2.5 years old, and how are we going to manage with the teachings? We have to be there. How are we going to learn and everything? But when Master Shah is around, everything and anything is possible. And it just sailed through. I'm grateful to Master Shah. He instilled all the strength in me so that I could go through this purification. Every time, whenever I'm going through the purification, he is always there. There are many more masters, many more saints that come to you in various forms. And I have been experiencing this as I started internalizing little by little Master Shah's teachings, his wisdom. One thing I understood it very clear. Makhan khana hai to churning has to happen. You cannot get the makhan without the churning. So it's better you are prepared for the churning rather than thinking why this churning is happening. The minute you surrender for that churning, the makhan will just come up. So the minute you surrender yourself, divine will just hold your hands and it will just sail you through. I'd heard this long back. God will not give you something that you cannot handle. And if you feel you cannot handle it, and if he feels that he knows you cannot handle him, then he will bless you and he'll just sail you through. But if he knows you can handle it, he will make sure that you purify enough and learn how to sail through. Even if you give up, he will never give up on you. This is what I have learned throughout my journey. And it is not that I've been able to follow it completely to the T. I also have my own mindsets, my thought processes, my blockages coming up, telling me, no, this is not going to work. This is not right. Or it doesn't happen this way. All those thoughts come in. But the minute you surrender, divine grace takes over. So this was my journey, and my journey continues. I opted to become a soul communicator. That was again a very purifying journey. You have to purify further and further and further so that you can be better servants. Today, humanity and Mother Earth requires our service, requires the unconditional service. And as I was going through this course of becoming a soul communicator, every Saturday we used to have a class. And every Saturday used to be a nightmare for me. Because doing a flow, because it does not have any text written. It is not something that you can read and just read it out. You just have to have that pure connection with the divine. And we had to attain certain scores during that time. And I would feel, my God, I can never reach to those percentages. But we had a wonderful team, very supportive. I've never seen such a team, every person is helping one another so that we collectively grow on this journey. Then as well, Master Uma was our mentor. She guided us through as to how we can flow through, how we can purify our channels, how we can let go of our own things and connect with the divine messages. But the team as well, each one of us was supporting one another. We had one of the students, she had very open channels, but she was very humble and she would support us in whatever ways she could. Because it never felt that, she has better channels open, so she is better off than us, or she is a step ahead of us. No, it was never there. She was always there for us, to support us, to offer us all the guidance, whatever her experience that she could offer. The best part was when we were having our final exam. We had certain time limits within which we had to flow out the message from the divine, and we were not able to make it during that time period. And all of us flunked. We could not pass the passing percentage. So Master Uma gave us a week's time to prepare, and so that we could again appear. And during that 1 week time, the entire team, we were connecting every day, timing ourselves, doing the flows again and again and again and again. It was such a wonderful time, that 1 week. We bonded so well, and each one of us wanted to excel, wanted the other person to excel, to do better and better and better. And that was the key for each one of us to pass through that exam. Otherwise, individually, I don't think I could have made it. But that support, the teamwork, heaven is always watching. Heaven is not only seeing how well you can connect, it is also seeing how well you take along others with you on your journey. And today, I'm blessed to be a Guan Yin Lineage Holder, as well as a soul communicator. So this was something that I wish to share, my journey, and divine grace continues for me. The message what I would like to share with each one of you is, each one of us have our own challenges, our own problems to go through, face through. But if we could surrender and ask divine to take over, life is much, much more easier, and life is much, much beautiful. I started seeing life in a different way. It is not about only your physical life, but my focus changed towards more of my spiritual life. For me, my spiritual journey is much more important than my physical life. And to be very honest, like Gaur Sir has mentioned in the message, this journey has given me a purpose for my life. I remember when we were in college days, as we were preparing to graduate, and everybody would be going out for interviews and preparing for the interviews. And this was a very, very common question asked in the interview. Where do you see yourself 5 years down the line? I never had an answer for that. I don't know what I'm going to do next 5 minutes. How can I tell you what I'm going to do after 5 years? Some would say, then we would discuss, okay, so what will be the answer? Some would say, I would like to become a CEO of such and such company. I would like to become a director of XYZ company. And I used to wonder, what are they going to do what is next? Okay, you become a director, you become a CEO, you reach the highest post. But what after that? You have good life, good family, everything. But then what is after that? I never had a mission. I never had an ambition in life. I could never say I want to become XYZ. I want to do this. Life just happened for me. I just chose as and when the time came to me. I never thought that I will become a soul teacher. I never thought I'll become a Guan Yin Lineage Holder, a soul communicator. I never thought I will be presenting here like this in front of all of you. So that was never perceived by me. I could never think of giving a talk to such an audience and being here on this platform. So I owe all this to all the divine grace that I've received in various forms, in form of my teachers, my parents, my sister, my nephew, my friends. All of them have contributed towards this journey. And I wish they all support me here onwards as well. Thank you so much for all your time, and I'm extremely grateful for this opportunity. Thank you, Gaur sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Kaumudi. What a blessing it has been to hear you today. And it is so inspiring that it is through the body. We have heard all this, it is through the body that we have the chance to work out our karmas. But the way you have gone through it, the kind of challenges you have come across, these have been really daunting. And anybody, unless you had divine support, a person would have really given up hope. And you just came back from the brink, so to say. It is so wonderful. And how we are supported, it is a testimony to how we are supported by the masters. They are watching us all the time and giving us these inputs. And it is also a testimony to the fact that how those of us who are here today, we all belong to a soul family. And everyone was destined to hear you speak today. To take something home. And what a message it is that when you it's very easy for one to be really focused on one's own needs. But when we grow out of ourselves and start serving others, then the real breakthrough comes. And the spirit to serve is something that is very, very important. And that is so much alive in you. And that has been responsible. You have been somebody like this from so many lifetimes, and that is how you have been brought to this state today. So thank you so much. I had told Umaji that I will not be speaking, but somehow I could not hold myself back.
Thank
So
you, Gaur sir.
Umaji will
Thank you so
forgive
much.
me for that.
Thank you, Gaur sir. But the session can never be complete without your
Yes.
participation and your inputs and your words of wisdom that you share with us in every session. So much. Anybody has any questions? Anybody would like to ask Kaumudi something? Yeah?
Umaji, if you permit me, I would like to say something else.
Of course, definitely.
Just a minute, yeah. You see, there are many people whom we have been, Kaumudi is a wonderful example of each one of us have this tendency to hold back, and we do not want to open ourselves. We don't want to take anything in life that is challenging. So many people, like Kaumudi shared, she did not have the experience of speaking before an audience, but she took the challenge and she was supported. So there are many people, all this big assembly of would-be saints or living saints here in this Tuesday gathering. We would really welcome each one to come forward and share. And you will find that it's a great breakthrough for you. It gives you tremendous insight into your own growth as a human being. Because human being is not just a human being. The human being is the spiritual being too. So it is always good to really go within, find out how one's life has progressed. What are the teachings that we can offer to others? Most of the time people have this thought, oh, how can I teach? I don't know. But that is not the correct approach. Everybody, each one of us really has tremendous teachings to offer. And only when we start offering those teachings, we become entitled for higher teachings to be given to us. So unless we make, our pot empty, more cannot be poured into it. So this is something which we can learn from, people like Kaumudi, Hema, Shashi, Nazia. Wonderful opportunity, and it's such a wonderful thing to share. So please feel more free. It's a kind of an in-house program where nobody is going to be judged, and only people will be supported. So please come forward a little more, and you don't make it, a habit that one has to be nudged to come on to this forum and speak. So that is my request to everybody. Thank you. Vatsalaji, you want to say something? Vatsala, you can go ahead. No, you are not audible. We can't hear you. Are you using a microphone? I mean that you can take it off and speak?
Yes. Now can
you
you hear
are
me,
audible.
sir?
Now you are audible. Go ahead.
Okay.
Yes.
Kaumudi ji, your session today was a very moving session, and you reinforced something, the importance of surrender. Your experience has made that principle a little more real. We read about what it is to surrender and all that. Here is somebody who has been healed because of surrender. So it has strengthened my faith also even more. So that's a great experience. And I would like to know, not as out of personal curiosity, but as additional reinforcement, whether she is fully well physically.
Yeah, thank you so much, Vatsalaji. I am cured, or I can say 99%. I'm healed 99%. Because as I went through this journey, I understood it is a journey of healing. As Gaur said, rightly said, that it is my karma. So I have to, it's an ongoing process. But yes, I have healed to such an extent that I can carry on with my normal life. I do have certain health issues, but I'm able to manage.
But you have been healed in the most important places where it counts. The physical ailment is only a small part of it. The greater healing has happened. I can see from your smile and with the joy in which you are narrating. So you have been able to communicate that very well. And I had a miraculous breakthrough, which I shared with Master Umaji after her soul conferencing. The first day itself, I had a great experience. And when I had once come back from hospital after a major illness, friend of a friend of a friend gave me a small book of Master Shah. That book is not available, it's very rare, and that person wanted it back after some months. I said I kept it very carefully. I didn't know anything about Master Shah then. So I just read a few. It made a lot of sense to me at that time because I was recovering from an illness. Then she took it back, and strangely, after 7-8 years, I came to hear about Master Shah. And the first time Umaji spoke about soul conferencing, I had a very good experience. So I'm doubly happy to hear you. So you are a proof of everything.
Thank you, Vatsalaji. Thank you so much. It's pure divine grace that I've been able to make it this far.
What your life is your message. More than what you said is only a small tip of the iceberg. Your life itself is a message for us. Thank you so much for sharing it.
Anybody else wants to say something? Please feel free.
Yeah, myself.
Nazia.
Please unmute yourself.
Yes, sir. Can I say?
Nazia.
Nazia.
And just a minute. Yes.
Kaumudi ji, your smile, your gentleness, your softness, please give to us. So beautiful, so gentle, loving, soft narration, like the pain, even you were narrating the pain, but it was coming so gently, like, it was so beautiful talk, very inspiring, really, really inspirational. What you have gone through, but you are very brave, very courageous, and real inspiration for so many people. So I hope many people listen to this story and they believe in themselves. And I hope to hear you again and again.
Yes, sure.
Always in any of the class, Kaumudi ji speaks so good, so soft, gentle, love, like loving, very loving, lot of love radiated. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you, Nazia. Thank you so much for your wonderful words. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Kaumudi. Very great experience you can share.
Thank you, Sneha ji. Thank you so much.
Amit, you wanted to say something?
Yes, sir.
Just
I
a
was just
moment.
saying that,
Amit, allow me to. Yes. Please go ahead.
yeah, it's early morning here in US.
It's
So,
all right.
yeah. So I think what I wanted to say is the everyday practice helps remove the blockages in life and also in spiritual life. So yes, this session was a perfect example of it. I've experienced myself. We go through so many lifetimes and so many patterns of behavior develops in ourselves, but we don't realize. But we also don't realize that once we start practicing, those blockages keep getting removed every now and then. So I think every session we go through, we realize that there is some energies who has been helping us in everyday form. Either we get attracted or the energy get attracted to us. And I've seen that personally. We go through so many troubles and problems in life because that's how we are born, that we have to go through that challenges and still continue to do what we are doing. So every session tells us that keep doing what we are doing.
True. Shashi, you want to say something?
Yes, basically, I'm most impressed with Kaumudi's glowing face, and but glowing face and her the glow of spirituality and all that, one wouldn't imagine that she had suffered so much. It is so positive. I wanted to thank her for that.
Thank you, Sasulita.
Exactly what Nazia was saying. I agree with it fully.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Anybody else?
Kaumudi is so extra.
Acha, Kashmiraji, just a moment. Yes, you can go ahead.
I said she is so extraordinary. My first meeting was of course on telephone for my sister who was in a very bad state, and the way she helped at that time, we never knew that she is such an enigma, such a power, so positive. Truly a blessing. We're really blessed to have Uma ji and the whole team, and of course all of you all to support one another. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Oh, no,
Blessed to
we
be
cannot,
Master Shastra.
anybody cannot grow in isolation. So sharing has to be there.
Kaumudi is like a pretty little soft, gentle fly, soothing and nice. Thank you, Kaumudi, for
Kashmiraji.
sharing. Thank you so much. Love you so much. Thank you.
Kashmiraji.
Thank you. Thank you, Kashmir. Anybody else wants to say something? Please unmute yourself. Otherwise, Umaji will close. Umaji, I think we can close now.
We can close?
Looks like कोई तो unmute नहीं कर
हिंदी में बोल सकता हूँ मैं
हाँ
हाँ जी, वेंकटेश जी आप कैमरा पे आ सकते हैं?
हाँ वेंकटेश जी Can you start your
जी
video,
जी
please?
जी एक मिनट ना
हाँ
कैमरा चालू कर रहा हूँ मैं कौमुदी जी को 2016 दिसंबर से मेरा परिचय हुआ उनका तो डेली 4 बजे हर बुधवार को 4 बजे सोल हीलिंग सेंटर में फ्री में सेवा करते थे और उन्होंने किसी का भी कुछ भी अगर तकलीफ है वो सेवा करने में आगे आते थे और मैं 7th क्लास ही पढ़ा था और मुझे सोल हीलिंग से बहुत कुछ सीखना था लेकिन वहां पर पूरा इंग्लिश होने के कारण मैं अटक जाता था काफी जगह पर और कौमुदी जी जो भी मैं पूछता था ये कैसे वो कैसे अभी भी उन्होंने ना नहीं बोला और हर जगह मुझे मदद करते आए हैं और काफी इसलिए मैं ये बात रख रहा हूँ उनके दिल में इतनी सेवा रही
I think he has disappeared.
ना नहीं
हाँ
करते
बोलिए जी
और हर जगह उनकी मदद के लिए मेरे पास शब्द नहीं है क्योंकि इंग्लिश होने के कारण काफी चीजें मुझे समझ में नहीं आती अभी मास्टर उमा जी भी बहुत सेवा करते हैं लेकिन उनका एक पद उनका एक लेवल था ताकि उनको काफी लोगों को हैंडल करना तो शुरुआत में ज्यादा मैं मास्टर से हेल्प नहीं ले पाया क्योंकि उनका टाइम है उनका वो जो था लेकिन मुझे डिवाइन हीलिंग कैंप्स से लेकर ग्वान यिन लीनेज होल्डर तक हर मोड़ पे मुझे मदद की और ग्वान यिन लीनेज होल्डर एग्जाम जब देना था तब भी उन्होंने मुझे उसको हिंदी में जो प्रश्न होता था उन्होंने हिंदी में कन्वर्ट करके मुझे समझाती थी ये प्रश्न है तो उसका मैं समझकर आंसर देके मैं भी एग्जाम पास हुआ तो मैं हर बार मदर ग्वान यिन आकर इनके रूप में मुझे हेल्प कर रही है ऐसा मैं समझता था और मैं आज ग्वान यिन लीनेज होल्डर हुआ दाओ हीलिंग हैंड्स हुआ डिवाइन हीलिंग हैंड्स हुआ ये सब में उत्तीर्ण हुआ तो केवल ये दो ही शख्स है, आदरणीय उमा जी और कौमुदी जी। ये दोनों ने मुझे काफी हद तक, इनकी हेल्प नहीं होता तो मैं कुछ नहीं सीख पाता, ये स्पष्ट बात है। तो मैं कौमुदी जी को और मास्टर जी को आज उनका पूरा सुन नहीं पाया, मुझे पता नहीं था, जो कुछ भी सुना उनकी
वो
तरफ
हम लोग YouTube पर डालेंगे तो आप उसको सुन लीजिएगा। मैं
जी जी
उमा जी को लिंक दे दूंगा तो वो सबके साथ शेयर कर देंगे।
जी जी, थैंक यू सो मच। और
Thank you,
आपको भी और सबको भी मैं धन्यवाद देता हूँ। आज मैं कुछ भी सीखा तो इनके बदौलते, तो इन्हीं शब्दों से मैं आपसे इजाजत चाहूंगा। थैंक यू सो मच, धन्यवाद।
Thank you, Venkatesh ji. Thank you.
So, thank you, Kaumudi, once again. Thank you for such an inspiring, heart-touching story, I could say. It was more like a story for us, which each one of us, I'm sure, would love to remember again and again and again. Every time we have a pain, I'm sure your words will come in front, your face will come in front of us, and let us know if she could go through it, we can also go through it. So thank you so much for such an inspiring talk. Thank you so much for so openly sharing everything that you have gone through. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. And we have invited so many holy beings to be here with us. So it is our duty to wish them goodbye, express our gratitude to them. So we can bring our palms together in the prayer position. And we say together, thank you, Divine. Thank you, Tao. Thank you, the Source. Thank you, all my spiritual fathers and mothers. Thank you, all the holy beings from all the different dimensions, from the different realms who joined us to bless us, to guide us, to open our hearts, to imbibe everything that Kaumudi had to share with us, all of the teachings that each one of you have given us. We cannot thank you enough. Countless bow downs to each one of you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Love you, love you, love you. You may now respectfully return to your abodes. Gong song, gong song, gong song. Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Master Umaji. Thank you, Kaumudi, for nice session and eye-opener session.
Thank you, Snehaji. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone.